I'm Dr. Dan from Vitamin Pro, and this is part 3 of the series I'm doing about why you shouldn't wait to get a celiac diagnosis to start a gluten-free diet. And I encourage you to go back and check videos 1 and 2. I'm trying to keep these short so you can check one and then at your leisure. Okay, so let's go on to point number 4. There was an excellent study done of about 4,000 people, and it was published in The Lancet in 2001. So we've known about this now for 10 years. This video is done in August of 2010. So in this study, what they were looking at is the rate of mortality, which is another way of saying what's your rate of dying if you're related to a diagnosed celiac disease person. Okay, now remember that about 1 in every 100, let's keep the math easy, about 1 in every 100 people in the United States and Canada has celiac disease, okay? Only about 3% of them are diagnosed. That means that 97% of those people are not diagnosed, and those people are higher, 2 to 8 times the risk for dying as a person who does not have celiac disease. But what the study wanted to know was how many first-degree relatives, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, or children of these people were also at risk of dying. And what they found was that the first-degree relatives had the same risk of death from whatever causes death in a person as the celiac person. So now we've got 97% of the people in North America who are not diagnosed properly and their first-degree relatives who are all at higher rate of death because they're not diagnosed. Now the problem is that they're not going to get diagnosed because this information is not getting out very quickly. In fact, it won't until a pharmaceutical company has a pill. And then of course everybody will hear about celiac disease and how you should be on this pill and what the rate of this is, and they'll understand that it's closer to 50% that really need this this pill. So they're frothing at the bit right now. They can hardly wait to get that information out, but we've got a ways to go. So what does that mean to you? Should you wait to wait and see if you're one of those in 100 who absolutely has celiac disease, or a relative of someone who does that's undiagnosed too? Should you wait? I would say no, and I don't think any reasonable person would suggest you do. So let's go on to point number 5. Now remember, at this point we're only talking about celiac disease, which is at 1 in 100 or so, but conservative estimates say that about 6 to 7 times as many people have gluten sensitivity that's non-celiac type as people who have the celiac form. And that's very conservative. I think it's a lot higher than that. I think it's probably probably about 20 or 30 times higher. But let's just say it's only 6 or 7. So that takes it down to about 1 in 20 people will have gluten sensitivity, and all their first-degree relatives are going to be at that same high rate for death too. So again, should you sit around and wait for the diagnosis to show up for you, or to find a doctor who's going to handle this correctly? So far, every doctor I've talked to does not understand this. I've talked to many, and they just, I haven't found the one who can slice this through and get the proper diagnostic reasoning here. So, the celiac gene, as we know, is present in about 35% of our population. And so depending on the cofactors that go along with gene expression, that means that a pretty high percentage of you would have that celiac gene and would have the capability of being damaged by gluten and by that gliadin in the gluten. Okay, that's the next part. Thank you for listening, and we'll go on to the next phase and finish this up on the next video.